Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. My name is AJ. I'm here to talk about our dodgy Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. I'm also going to be talking about the Uyghur Tribunal and also Britain's decision to boycott the Olympics as well. So without further ado, guys, and let's get on with the show. Finally, it looks like the British public is fed up of Boris Johnson and his antics. This Prime Minister is the worst Prime Minister we've ever had. He is the most corrupt, most dodgiest Prime Minister I've ever seen in my lifetime. And he's so dodgy, guys. I mean, this guy openly talks about taking cocaine when he was younger. And when someone takes cocaine, which is a Class A drug, chances are you will take them in your lifetime because it's very, very difficult to get out of drug addictions. And I've seen it all my life, guys. I've seen friends and family members and, people that live in the same area who get into drugs and they can never shake it off. They try and shake it off for a few years, go into rehab, then they get back into it again. It's very, very difficult. So when Boris openly says he's tried drugs before when he was a bit younger, chances are he's been carrying on doing it and without people's knowledge. So it brings me to this article. Illegal drugs being used in British Parliament buildings report. So traces of cocaine, this is an actual report, guys, this is true, I'm not making this up. Traces of cocaine have been found in several sites in the UK Parliament in London, in areas accessible only to people with parliamentary passes. We're talking about, prime ministers and people who are actually MPs and, go to the House of Commons, things like that. Cocaine was detected in multiple locations, including bathrooms near British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's office. So the bathroom, coincidentally, which is next to Boris Johnson's office, had traces of cocaine, and those of Home Secretary Priti Patel, the UK newspaper says. So Priti Patel and Boris Johnson seems to be like good pals. I mean, does she look like she's addicted to cocaine? I mean, come on, guys, you must be on something to come up with a bill like this. Clause 9 of the Nationalities and Borders Bill would allow Home Secretary to strip a nationalised Brit of their citizenship without any notice at all. So basically, it doesn't matter if you're British or an immigrant, she can strip you of your British nationality just like that. I mean, you got to be on something to create a bill like that. I mean, look at her. I mean, she's not even a British national herself. I mean, she's either an immigrant or her parents have been immigrants. Absolutely ridiculous, guys. Seriously, has she looked at herself in the mirror? Not only that, guys, do you remember the Boris's Peppa Pig speech and the car noises and him losing all of his notes and saying, "Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me"? He was definitely onto something, guys. He was either drunk or definitely on something, definitely. I mean, people don't say, "Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me," losing their notes, talking about Peppa Pig. He must have been on another world or something. So back to our dodgy Prime Minister. So our Prime Minister, as you know, one of the most racist Prime Ministers we've ever had, used to call women in hijabs letterboxes and ninjas. I mean, how racist can you be towards Muslims? I mean, this guy, who wasn't even voted in, by the way, is having Christmas parties during lockdown. And while we were having thousands of people dying, there was NHS was being overrun. People were missing out on seeing their loved ones before they die. And also a lot of students who were caught, in groups of 4 or 5 or 6, I can't remember the exact number. They used to be fined £10,000, and all of these students who've not got any money have to fork out £10,000 from somewhere and get a criminal record. But the worst thing is, lying about it. And months after months after months, the Prime Minister and his aides were just lying and lying, saying there was no Christmas party, there was no Christmas party. But this lady let the cat off the hook. She's basically let everything out, and it just shows that there was a Christmas party. And instead of Boris getting the sack, she's the one that had to resign. So basically, she's the fall guy for Boris again. She's basically taken another bullet for Boris. So, look at these articles. He's had enough. all the lockdown breaking parties and that have shamed Tories and Boris Johnson. Gary Neville tells Boris Johnson to do one during epic Twitter rant after leaked Christmas party video. Boris Johnson News Live number 10 insists PM did not lie about flat refurb at Christmas party, probe widened. So he's also been, getting some builders and making false expenses on his number 10 flat as well. He's so dodgy, guys. He is so dodgy. It's just one corruption scandal after another. There's been so many corruption scandals with Boris. It's just too many to name. Seriously. Majority of Brits want Boris gone over the Christmas party fiasco. Boris lurches from one disaster to the next. Britons lost trust after Christmas party affair. Boris Johnson accused of throwing clubs and bars under the bus to save his own skin with Plan B rules. So basically, what he's also done, he's put some minor lockdowns in place. You have to wear masks and things like that. But you also need a COVID vaccine pass to go into nightclubs and bars and things like that. And the problem is, a lot of these young people who go to nightclubs and bars, they're not fully vaccinated and they don't want to be vaccinated. So young people in UK, they definitely don't want to be vaccinated. I mean, they want a choice. They want freedom. If they want to be vaccinated, they can. If they don't, they can. The people most at risk are old people. So they definitely should be vaccinated. But the young people, if they don't want to be vaccinated, they don't want to do it. So a lot of these youngsters are very, very unhappy because a lot of them go out clubbing, go out to bars and stuff. And, they can't do it anymore because... they need a COVID vaccine card and a lot of them can't get one because they don't want to be vaccinated. So he's not making things very easy for youngsters, and he's also not making things easy for nightclubs as well. Nightclubs were probably the worst affected during lockdown. They were shut down for years, I think. For a whole year and a half they were shut down. So a lot of nightclub owners lost their business, lost a lot of money. So this is the lady, the press secretary, Allegra Stratton. She's basically taking the bullet for Johnson, but the knives are still out for Johnson, and I wonder how long he's going to last. So let's look at this clip, shall we? She's obviously put Tabasco sauce in her eyes, as usual.
Can you stop, please? Can you stop? I'm going to make a statement. You don't... the British people have made immense sacrifices in the ongoing battle against COVID-19. I now fear that my comments in the leaked video of the 20th of December last year have become a distraction in that fight. My remarks seemed to...
It's really funny. She's asking these photographers to stop taking pictures while she talks, and they're still taking pictures while she's talking. Just goes to show how much respect these photographers have.
Make light of the rules that people were doing everything to obey. That was never my intention. I will regret those remarks for the rest of my days, and I offer my profound apologies to all of you at home for them. Working in government is an immense privilege. I tried to do right by you all, to behave with civility and decency, and act to the high standards you expect of number 10, rightly.
So that's the clip, guys, and I want to show you why she had to quit and why she was forced to quit, and why all this heat was going on. So after a whole year of denials by people in number 10 and Boris Johnson, there was no party. She basically let the cat out the bag during this interview here, and I'll show you here.
I've seen reports on Twitter that there was a Downing Street Christmas party on Friday night. Do you recognise those reports?
I went home.
So you can see when the reporter asks if there was a Christmas party, she just laughs about it and she's like, oh, I went home. She could have easily denied it. There was no Christmas party. She could have easily said, no, there's no Christmas party at all. But she's insinuating there was one and she didn't attend. She just went home.
Hold on.
And then afterwards she realised what she said and she's thinking about it. She's like, oh crap, what did I just say? And she's thinking how to get out of this situation. This is when you think about, when you say something really bad and you say in your mind, oh crap, I'm in big trouble.
Would the Prime Minister condone having a Christmas?
What's the answer?
I don't know. I didn't.
Wasn't a party, it was cheese and
Just be
wine.
clear, it's not.
Is cheese and wine all right? It was a business meeting.
I'm joking.
This is recorded. This fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced.
The fact that she's laughing about it, joking about it, while people were dying, outside, 1,000 people a day were dying, and she's here laughing about it. She's saying people were not socially distancing. She's saying, it was more like a business meeting than a party. But, it just goes to show the fact that she just thinks it's all funny, because people were losing their families in COVID. People were missing out on their loved ones, and people were losing out on their freedom in COVID. There's a lot of angry people around, and here she was taking it as a joke. And this is the reason why, she's the fall guy. But Boris Johnson, he's the one. You can't have any parties and get-togethers in number 10 without Boris Johnson knowing about it, or without Boris Johnson being there, because it's number 10, it's Prime Minister's home, that's where he lives. So he was definitely involved. He probably told everyone, deny it, don't tell anyone, don't tell the press we're having a party. And she's just falling for it, and she's just taking a bullet for Johnson, and she's quitting. And the funny thing about all of this, guys, Boris Johnson is under a lot of pressure by the press, by the media. He's getting hounded, and there's loads of calls for him to resign in Prime Minister's question time. And what does he do to deflect the situation? I'll show you what he does to deflect the situation. He boycotts the Winter Olympics. So his idea of deflecting all of this pressure is to boycott the Winter Olympics in China, in Beijing. And seriously, and the funny thing is, guys, only a handful of papers have picked up on it. Nobody really cares. Nobody in China cares if UK is going to be there or not. And people are still hounding him left, right, and centre about all of this corruption stuff. And all of this story is not even hitting that many papers. Same with this story as well. This Uyghur Chinese tribunal was going on, and today they've concluded that there is a genocide against the Uyghur people in Xinjiang. And this is absolutely ridiculous, guys, because there's still no evidence, and the people that turned up in these tribunals were just paid actors. Nobody was cross-examined. They didn't even check any evidence. They didn't allow China to defend themselves. It's absolutely a joke, guys, and it's basically an unofficial UK-based tribunal. It's got no legal standing, and it's not even a real court of law, guys. Listen, when you get accused of murder, you get a list of all of the evidence, you get cross-examined. It's not easy. You got your defense and your prosecutors showing their cases, and you get cross-examined to the max, and it's nothing like that. All of these paid actors are coming in, and these judges are like, so tell me what happened in your life. Oh, that's so bad. That's so sad. All of these paid actors, all of them were basically separatists that want Xinjiang to turn into East Turkestan, and that's their goal. And they were referring to Xinjiang as East Turkestan in all of their papers and all of their evidence, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So obviously these separatists are going to want their own countries, and they're not going to say anything good about China. None of them were cross-examined. None of them. They were like, judges are like, oh, that's so bad. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, poor thing. Oh, that's all it was, guys. Just a bunch of actors feeding these judges silly stories. And this was all funded by the NED and other anti-Chinese organizations. It's just silly. The real investigation was done by AP, Associated Press. They actually went to Xinjiang. They did their own investigation, and they had unmetered access to go wherever they wanted, and the Chinese government was very, very helpful in giving them all the access they needed. And they concluded that there is definitely no genocide, and there's definitely no cultural genocide, and it's all made up crap, guys. And you got, bodies such as Associated Press. You've also got The Economist saying there's no genocide as well. There's no evidence of genocide, guys. Only evidence people have got is these silly satellite images. I can give you satellite images of your mum's house saying and say that she's holding 1 million Uyghurs in her house locked up. Can you see how ridiculous that sounds? These are exactly the allegations that China's getting. Exactly. There's no other evidence except satellite images. So I want to show you this, guys. So Sir Geoffrey Nice, a prominent British barrister who chaired the tribunal hearing, said the panel was satisfied China had carried out a deliberate, systematic and concerted policy to bring about long-term reduction of Uyghur and other ethnic minority populations. So they said they're satisfied that China has been doing a long-term reduction of Uyghur and other ethnic minority populations. But when you look at the actual census, guys, you can see it says here the official statistics indicate that between 2010 and 2020, the Uyghur population of Xinjiang, a province in the far west of China, rose to 11.6 million, and that numbers rose each year. So can someone tell me, if it's a genocide and they're trying to reduce the population, why is it growing year on year? Can someone explain to me that? I mean, this tribunal took months and months and months. I could have just showed them this piece of evidence and they would have concluded it in a day. It just goes to show these judges are bought by the NEDs. It's all a big farce, guys. They're just looking for a guilty verdict, whatever. You can have a clown coming in as a witness saying, oh, I've been abused by China, I'm a Uyghur separatist, I got raped and abused, and they would believe him and they would say, yes, genocide, it's genocide. They're using the word genocide like it's nothing. The real genocide happened during the Nazi period, and what they did to the Jews was absolutely horrible. That was real genocide, guys. And none of these people know the horrors of what happened during those times. None of them. And they're brandishing the word genocide like it's a piece of cake or something. Why couldn't someone ask these silly judges, hang on a second, if you're calling this genocide and you're saying China is trying to slow the population, why is the population been growing in Xinjiang? Please explain to me that. You know, these judges are just all bought and it's just a farce and just a circus. Absolute circus. So before I go to this article, guys, I want to just show you the heading. It's absolutely hilarious. You will pay the price, China issue horror threat. Can you believe this shit? China issue horror threat to the UK for boycotting Winter Olympics. And back to Boris now, guys, and you know, with all of these corruption scandals he's having, all of the issues with lockdown, all of these issues about lying about Christmas parties, all of the corruption scandals that he's been having over the past few months, it's just one disaster after another. And he's tried to deflect this disaster to China, trying to deflect it by boycotting the Winter Olympics. It's not going to work, guys. It's definitely not going to work. People can see right through it. He's only deflecting his own failures. He's just covered in a pile of poo at the moment and he's struggling to get out. I don't know if he's going to survive till Christmas. And if he goes, he goes. I mean, good riddance, to be honest. And I just find it really ridiculous how he thinks he can deflect stuff to China and everything will be alright. You know, he's ruining the country by ruining this relationship with China and blindly following America. And where has it got UK by blindly following America? Seriously, where has it got UK? We're not getting any trade deals out of America. America says we're not going to get any sort of trade deal. Where has it got us? We need our own independent foreign policy. Stop being little poodle to Americans, guys. Have your own backside. Have your own foreign policy. You know, stand strong. Yeah, but Britain might not be a superpower, but at least gain some respect from the rest of the world. Right now, Britain is isolated. They've got no respect around the world. You know, they've pissed off the Europeans by Brexit. You know, we've lost our biggest trading partners in Europe. You know, America's not going to give us any trade deals. And Britain is pretty much isolated. And you pissed off China, you pissed off Russia. Britain's colonies are going one by one. First it was Barbados. And I guarantee you Falklands will be next. And then Scotland will leave Britain as well. Followed by Northern Ireland as well. So if Britain doesn't sort out its foreign policy and starts thinking intelligently for a change, I can see Britain going down in the next few years severely, and a lot of people will be affected. A lot of people. First things first, we need to get these coke addicts out Parliament, guys, and start putting some intelligent people in for a change. Anyway, that's all I want to have time for today. So let's chat on the comment section if you have anything to say. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And if you like my videos, don't forget to join my Patreon or buy me a coffee. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one.